Look up from your telescope, take me on this journey home. I don't wanna wait no more.
Okay, y'all, this was originally going to be a video about whose bodies are actually in the montage scene that we saw. A lot of y'all are in the comment section of my episode 7 breakdown video talking about how we did not see that montage scene in that actual episode. So you weren't sure if it actually took place in Vegas or not. And it got me thinking. Now, I went back and watched episode 1, and this was the first time that I had rewatched after seeing episodes 6 and 7. And let me just tell y'all, they hit completely different. My initial reaction is Olivia has lost her damn mind. Point blank period, y'all. Sis is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and I can't. The pure and unadulterated audacity that she parades up and through episode 1. And episode 1 is 2 weeks after Vegas. 2 weeks, Olivia. Shout out to the subbies in the comment section, Nina Vincent and Kendra Roberts. Y'all are some real ones because I came across your comment dialogue back and forth and it really got me thinking. It literally is the reason why I stopped what I was doing and I was like, let me go back and watch episode 1 again. Nina said, Erica, can we discuss what happened after Layla and Spencer slept together? Because apparently they didn't talk until they saw each other at the hangout. Does anybody think maybe they didn't go all the way? And then Kendra replied, I thought that before the Vegas episode. I wonder if that's why she said it was nothing. I can see that because I'm inclined to believe that he wouldn't just not call her or talk to her at all until he saw her again. Especially since she said, I'm ready, Spencer James. I love you. I'm going to go with your theory. It makes logical sense. And if Liv returned back to the hotel, she misunderstood what she saw, and that makes logical sense. Also, they've been video chatting all summer. We're going to talk about if Liv actually went back and saw what was going on in the hotel room, if she actually returned after she ran out. We're gonna do that in another video though, y'all. We gotta take this bite by bite. We gotta be able to process this as we go. So I got another video coming for that very shortly. Look out for that. So when I went back to rewatch episode 1, I was going to go specifically to the scene just so that I can see what was said. But then I was like, you know what? Go ahead, watch the whole episode, let it play. And that's how this whole rewatch happened. I decided to not only talk about what they were talking about in the comment section, but how this episode 1 hits completely different because y'all, there are so many Easter eggs in episode 1 and we literally saw things completely different than what they actually were just because we didn't have the proper context, and I'm upset. So speaking to the montage, when Spencer and Layla make it official and get back together and they have their little brief chat about Vegas and it wasn't important versus it wasn't anything, that montage scene that cuts in between their little brief dialogue there did not appear in episode 7, which prompt a lot of y'all to think that it did not happen in Vegas because we didn't see it in the Vegas episode. And I'm not gonna lie, my initial thought was, well, I don't need to see that thing again because I've seen it. Layla ripped off his shirt, Spencer pulled down the zipper of the back of her dress. You know, I don't see the destination, but I saw them on the path, and I don't actually need to see the whole thing play out to know it happened. But then I had to also remember that everything that we see on screen is for a reason. If we see it or if we don't see it, and when it's presented, all of those things matter in this all-American world, and I had to remember and respect the writers, respect the creatives, respect the directors on the show because they put so much thought and effort into what we see, y'all. Everything means something. So taking that into consideration, I'm now looking at it like y'all might be right. Everything that we have seen in the trailer leading up to different things or moments where it was a flashback came to pass in the episode in which it was supposed to be shown or when it actually happened, which means that this particular montage could still be up for grabs later on in the season. I read a few other comments, one of which, and I don't remember who said it, so I apologize that I did not grab the screenshot of that, but one person said that it could have been a flash forward, and that still could have been Olivia because many of y'all are going back and forth about how it might not actually be Layla's body, it could still be Olivia's body, and if it is Olivia's body, that could be a flash forward, giving y'all a little bit more hope for Olivia and Spencer. Right now, I ain't hoping for Olivia and Spencer. My heart can't really take it. Sis broke me when she broke him, But I'm gonna live vicariously through y'all and y'all hopes for them. So, just keep talking about it and I'll just be like, yes, Okay, but the main reason why I think y'all may be right and it could potentially not be Layla is that she says to Olivia, when Olivia says you and Spencer as a question, she says, yeah, it kinda happened in Vegas. When I heard this the first time, I didn't really register the kinda. The kinda hits differently now, y'all. Initially, I thought the kinda was just Layla being her, normal, low self-esteem. She's very insecure when it comes to Spencer, so she kind of like waffles a bit when she talks about him and their relationship. So I was just like, okay, girl, you doing that cool. I didn't really register the importance of her actually putting kinda in the sentence, not actually confirming that anything fully happened. She said kinda because it did not fully happen. They didn't fully get back together in Vegas, and they potentially did not actually hook up after she confessed her love for Spencer. He probably stopped her and told her that he didn't want to move too fast, and now here we are. Which brings me back to Kendra's response, where she says, I can see that because I'm inclined to believe that he wouldn't just not call her or talk to her at all until he saw her again. Especially since she said, I'm ready, Spencer James, I love you. Exactly! That's exactly right. I don't have Spencer James that we know sleeping with Layla after confessing his love for Olivia and then not talking to either one of them for 2 weeks. We supposed to believe that the Spencer James that we know is going to do that? Come on, y'all. Y'all really believe that? Nah, that ain't going to happen. Absolutely not. Spencer James would never. He is not built like that. And y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section down below. I hope y'all go back and rewatch it. I think that we should probably do like a tribe rewatch during the mid-season hiatus. Y'all let me know if y'all like that idea and I'm gonna try to figure out how we could do that. I would definitely be down to like rewatch the first part of this season. And now I want to talk about a few other things in the episode that hit completely different now that I am seeing it again, and we got to dive deeper into so that we can make sure we're on the same page and we are clear, okay? The scene where Spencer comes back to the Baker's house looking for Jordan and finds Olivia and Asher is a scene that breaks my heart in rewatching it, because you can literally see Spencer crumbling in his interactions with Olivia before Asher walks down the steps. And then he regroups and his ego comes in trying to save face, going back to what he originally came for, saying that he was looking for Jordan. And as he starts to exit, Olivia stops him, and this is where I feel like, and I actually mentioned this in a few of my other videos, I said that this was the moment where Spencer quits, like gave up on Olivia. And you can see it when he hands her back the keys to the house. You can see it in his eyes, you can see it in his demeanor. The whole vibe shifted, and Olivia knew it, y'all. Go back and watch the scene and you can see that she knew it in that moment, because she also shrinks right before we cut to them being at the hangout. Spencer gives a callback to them needing space in that scene, going back to what Olivia said at the top of the episode when she said that space was a good idea. And this is when he realizes that he needs space because he cannot handle what's happening right now. And then we go right into the scene with him being reunited with Layla, and she's all nervous, talking about Vegas wasn't a big deal. And y'all, this is probably like my top 2 from the episode in reference to scenes that hit differently. This part hits completely different now, especially with reading you all's comments, because looking at it from a space of they actually didn't go all the way, they didn't completely hook up, I can see that now more when I rewatch the scene, having seen episode 7. Now don't get me wrong, in episode 7 it definitely looks like we exit with them about to get it on, and it's pretty much already done. But I got hope, y'all, because y'all were dragging my boy Spencer. He should not have slept with Layla, he should not have done that. He was using Layla, he was taking advantage of Layla. But this makes sense to me now that he might not actually have gone all the way, and they just started to and they stopped, and now that makes more sense in reference to the Spencer James that we know. Y'all have to tell me what y'all think in the comment section down below. Right now, pause the video. I'm gonna need y'all to tell me what you think about this. Do you think it's possible that Layla and Spencer did not actually sleep together in Vegas and that Spencer actually stopped it before they went all the way? That changes everything. Now I'm 100% like, damn, Spencer, I feel so bad for you. And Liv, we need answers. Okay, calm down, calm down. But make sure y'all post. I need multiple comments on this video because I need you to just comment while you're watching it, because we are processing this and making sure that we are in a good place before we go into episode 8. And I just want to make sure that we are well composed, we are pulled together, and we're ready for episode 8. Because it's the mid-season finale and the writers, they are trying to take us out. I'm just going to tell you. They trying to do us in, y'all. They put us on this wild ride. They don't care about our anxiety, about our stress levels. They coming for blood with this season. And, you know, me and my videos, we just trying to make sure that we're prepared. Like, all of us, we are prepared. I'm preparing myself. I'm trying to prepare y'all. Okay. Then Spencer replies to Layla saying it wasn't a big deal by saying it was a big deal for me, and he kisses her. Yo, he was not lying. Vegas was a big deal, but in more ways than just with Layla. And I 100% believe now that he got back into this relationship with Layla because, in all honesty, he was taking a leap and putting himself out there with Olivia. He was stretching and trying to elevate a little bit, for lack of better words. Not that Layla was like bad or lower level or anything, but just in reference to having an understanding of what he can have in life and the levels of happiness that he can experience. And I think he sees a potential greater level of happiness with being with Olivia. So he took the chance. And when he decides in this moment to get back together with Layla, it's not completely inaccurate because he does have a pretty good life with Layla. They have a really good relationship. She is supportive. She is loving. She is affectionate. For all intents and purposes, Layla is a good girlfriend. So I think in this moment, Spencer, for lack of even more better words, settles, but not settles like in the worst way. He settles to go back to the level of happiness that he had before because he is conflicted inside and he's looking to grasp onto something that he knows, and he's looking to stabilize. In the last 2 weeks, he hasn't talked to Liv, he hasn't talked to Layla, he has all these feelings regarding Vegas, he's struggling mentally, he needed clarity, and he still doesn't have it. And in this moment, he's grasping for the closest piece of stability that he can find. It's kind of like he's out to sea and he wants to come to land, and Layla is land. So needless to say, I look at this scene now and I understand you, Spencer. I feel you, sir. I get it. I know exactly why you did it, and I'm not mad at you for doing it. And in all honesty, Layla can't really be mad either because she has done something similar, and I'm gonna go into that in another video. But Layla has definitely done the same thing, to where she was trying to grasp for stability in a space where she was overwhelmed and confused. So she should be able to understand better than most. Before I finish talking about Spencer, Olivia, and Layla and the rest of the gems and new perspective we now have on episode 1 after seeing episode 7, I want to remind you to catch up on all of my videos, especially my videos from this week. My episode 7 breakdown goes into depth on what all happened in Rolling the Dice and catches a few things that you may have missed. My episode 8 preview video gives a very quick snapshot into next week's episode. And We Need to Talk breaks down the top 10 most said comments in reference to episode 7 and my response to those comments. We start to really get into theories in that video. Olivia Broke Spencer is a deep dive into the effects of Olivia running out on Spencer and his confession. And Does Spencer Still Love Layla is a start to the conversation of what's next for them. I want to clarify one other thing outside of Spencer, Olivia, and Layla that has been clarified for me now that I've seen episode 6 and 7, and that is the fight between Spencer and Jordan. Y'all, that fight cracks me up. The entire time I really just laughed so hard because the way that Spencer hit Jordan, it was out of nowhere. I know they were fighting, but the impact, the power, the passion that Spencer put into that punch, I was blown away. I was literally like, what is going on? And I could not do nothing but laugh. Like, are y'all serious right now? And I think that scene in particular dropped Easter eggs for both Jordan and Spencer. I believe that they were fighting each other in that moment visually, but we were really seeing them fighting the things that they were dealing with and the things that we were going to see them go through this season. Spencer is in a place at this point where he's conflicted, confused, and had been rejected by Olivia. And he's pissed about it. I think that that's one of the driving forces behind that Super Saiyan punch that he delivered. And it's not as clear for me for Jordan, but I think that he is battling feelings of being left behind. And there's a little bit of validity to him being mad about the newspaper article from Spencer's interview. But I also feel like this is 2 weeks after Vegas. And is Jordan starting to have regrets or doubts about getting married? And is this part of the aggression that we see when he swings on Spencer? Now, I'm not going to speculate just yet. Like, I assume when I did my Simone is getting a spinoff video that, Jordan might not be going with her to that show, or they would basically break up because they would be separating on the show. But honestly, at the point that we are in the series now, I don't know if Jordan and Simone are going to break up. I kind of believe that the writers wouldn't make them get married just to end this quickly, because that's kind of like a trope or stereotype for like young love and the whole, marriage is a mistake thing. So part of me really believes that they can make it. But I do think that what we're going to see is we're going to see them experience questioning and wondering, did they make a mistake? And we start to get a peek into that in episode 6 at the cabin. So that's my thought on Jordan and Spencer's fight, and providing a little bit of context based off of what we know from the Vegas episode, which happened before this one. Now back to Olivia, Spencer, and Layla, because the majority of the clarity for me came from them. If y'all want me to do other characters specifically, and then from episode 1 or any of the other episodes, I can go back and do a part 2 to this video, because I do believe in episode 1 we got Easter eggs from Billy, Grace, and Coop, and where their stories are going to go, and I'm very, very excited about it now looking back. I just can't do it right now in this video because we are getting up there in length, and I ain't even done talking about what I really, really wanted to talk about yet. So let me know in the comment section if you want me to do a part 2. Olivia is drinking in episode 1. I don't know how I missed it. Well, actually I do, because we weren't privy to her sobriety struggles yet at this point. But you can see her Beverly Hills High water bottle that she uses for alcohol in the scene where she's catching up with Layla. And you see her sip her water. This is the water provided by the restaurant in the glass. And then right after Layla tells her about Vegas and Spencer, she sips from the water bottle. That is a clear indicator, number one, that is not water in the bottle. Like, why would she need to drink from 2 different water sources? Which makes me think that maybe Olivia masked her drinking better than initially thought. Because right here, she's drinking right in front of Layla and she doesn't know. Before Layla was at the table, Asher was at the table and he didn't know. Nobody has picked up on Olivia's drinking, and now I can kind of see how Spencer might have missed it as well, unless she just completely doesn't do it around him. Subby Peta DM me on Instagram and asks, do you realize that when Olivia is meeting up with Spencer, she doesn't have her alcohol bottle with her? It wasn't in Vegas and it wasn't at the cabin. And the moment I read that comment, I said, you know what? You are right. One, I want to know what the hell she's actually drinking, because if people can't smell it on her, then sis is really going above and beyond to mask it. But I do believe like she doesn't have the water bottle anytime that she's around Spencer, or anytime that she knows that she's going to be around Spencer. And in this scene, she did not know that she was going to run into Spencer because she was just there with Asher and Jordan. I'm actually working on a video all about Olivia and her drinking and what's the bigger thing that's going on with her, so stay tuned for that. But this is just yet another thing that we have further clarity on now versus before when we watched it. The last thing I'm going to say in this video, because woo child, it is getting long, is the hug. The hug that we see where Spencer looks so at home, so at peace, and seemed to collapse in Olivia's arms was 100% initiated by Olivia. Because you can see in this scene, Spencer is trying to keep his distance when she walks up, and he responds the way that he does because in this moment, that is all he wanted. You have to watch my Olivia Broke Spencer video because this just further confirms it for me. It seems like this where Olivia doesn't realize it, but she's taunting Spencer, dangling the one thing that he wants in front of him and then taking it away. And on Olivia's side, we can see that she is lying. She's lying about thinking that her and Spencer won't work and that she doesn't want to make it happen. Because she also gets caught up in this hug, but then is snatched back to reality and starts to run again. Y'all, episode 1 hits completely different now. Like, ridiculously different now. You should really go back and watch it. I think I want to do a whole rewatch series, and maybe we can go back and even jump into seasons 1 and 2. How would you guys like that? Like, let me know in the comment section down below if we need to be rewatching together during this hiatus and how we gonna work that out. Let me know your thoughts and ideas down below. Episode 8 is coming up in a few days. I have a bunch of amazing videos planned for this weekend to prepare us for that. I think that we are going to get rocks with this episode because, in all honesty, episode 7 could have been a mid-season finale, but it wasn't. So that just means that they're going to take it up a notch in this episode. I'm a little nervous. But continue to drop all of your thoughts, theories, and comments in the comment section down below. I'm your host, Erica Vane, and if you're new here, I post new All-American videos every day, sometimes twice a day. We break down everything that you need to know in the All-American world. We are building a phenomenal, amazing, communicative, and supportive tribe of fellow All-American fans, and you should join us by hitting the subscribe button. Like this video, you made it all the way to the end, so like this video and share with another All-American friend. And you're not ready to go yet, so catch my All-American video playlist right here where you can watch all of my All-American content, or check out this special curated video selected perfect for you here. I'll see you in the next video. Love ya. Bye.